unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The biggest game in the NFL regular season jumps off tonight in Seattle. The Rams and Seahawks, both 11-3 in the NFC West, meet up in a battle that will have a major impact on the number one seed in the NFC playoffs. A win tonight gives the Rams the inside track with 2 games remaining. 5:15 kickoff on Fox 11 and Amazon Prime for all you streamers. Former NFL linebacker Hardy Nickerson, who grew up in Compton, made some history Wednesday in California high school football. He's the first black head coach to be hired by a school in the prestigious Trinity League Conference. Nickerson, a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, was hired by J. Sarah High School. Nickerson led Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland to the Division V AA state championship this season. The Trinity League has produced 5 state champions since 2019 and has 7 players on NFL rosters this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
One year ago, flames tore through Altadena and Eaton Canyon, changing lives forever. From the ashes, can a beloved community rise stronger? Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, host of First Things First, weekday mornings, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580. And I'm inviting you to join us on Wednesday, January 7th, as we broadcast live from Perry's Joint on the 1-year anniversary of this horrific and devastating fire. We're remembering those we lost, celebrating the heroes and sheroes who answered the call, and honoring the resilience of neighbors who are determined to rebuild together.
I've been a strong black woman a long time, and I can't just break down now.
Hear the stories of survival, the voices of recovery, the spirit of community that the fire couldn't destroy, and yes, the angst of those who still do not know where they go from here.
Yeah, where am I gonna go?
At KBLA Talk 1580, we don't just cover the story, we're part of this community, and we've done our level best to hold those responsible for this fire accountable. And 1 year later, we're still standing together.
It is my hopes that black people will rebuild those homes.
So join us live at Perry's Joint, 2051 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, as we commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire. Because some stories demand to be remembered.
This too shall pass.
Peace to the ancestors. Yes. Peace to Dr. Cornel West. Yes. Peace to the movement. Yes. We came from the bottom. Ever since they got us, we've been going through these problems. 400 years behind, and there's no promise that we gon' never actually be equal, to be honest. It's messed up how they put us in chains, kidnapped our language and changed our names. But when we speak Ebonics, then they call it a shame. They leave us with a couple options, rob or slang, now we locked up again. How much can our skin take? We went from slaves to inmates, carrying the weight of the 50 states. Working your farms, black nannies carrying white babies in their arms. Black men sacrifice their lives in your wars, but you don't never show appreciation here at home. You treat us so damn wrong, you act like you hate my race. The police, they just beat us in the streets like an 808 bass. America,
I'm Tavis Smiley. We are at the top of our second hour of our final live show of the year. It's our annual Year-End Roundtable. If you missed the first hour, you missed a good one. As you well know, later tonight, the podcast of all these shows, all these hours are posted on all of our platforms. So later tonight, you can check out the podcast of Hour 1. But what an amazing dialogue it was with Rashad Robinson, with Danielle Moody, with Connie Rice, and Dr. Cornel West. I am blessed that Dr. Cornel West is still here. Let that ride, Miles. Dr. West is here, Connie Rice is here, and we're joined in this hour by 2 other great voices, Tim Golden and Elizabeth Booker Houston. We'll get all of them involved in this conversation in just a second, but I'm delighted to be surrounded by some brilliant voices that you've heard throughout the year on this program, and it is my honor at the end of every year on the last live show to do a year in review roundtable with the best of the voices that we've brought you over the year on this particular program. Now, it's Thursday, so every Monday and Thursday, top of the second hour, Dr. Cornel West joins us. So every Monday and Thursday, he chooses his own walk-on music. Today, he literally walked in because he's in L.A. today. He's in studio, as is Connie Rice. So he literally walked in, and this is his walk-on song for the day. Turn up a little bit more, Miles, and we'll let Doc explain the song.
When you steady being forced to climb, the shit that had your back heavy, beat and lost your mind. Especially when you done been down for so much time. Getting up don't even really ever cross your mind. You got pawn shop, gun shop, liquor store sign, SWAT team, crack fiend, unemployed line. Day late, dollar short, trying to
Lord. 18 years ago, the brother, we went into the studio with a genius named Black Thought out of Philadelphia. Questlove, the founder of The Roots. Another one called Lucky Witherspoon, whose father was a great blues artist, but he himself is one of the most beautiful melodic singers that we know. And a sister named Raw Digger, who throws down in a profound way. And I was, of course, there, but I was in the caboose on the train, but glad that the train was on the track. Oh, yes. And we were talking about America, the underside of America, and the ways in which black folk have been able to negotiate and navigate through all of this muck of mendacity and hypocrisy and barbarity, and still emerge with such integrity at our best.
Yes, at our best, yeah.
We got a history of black gangsters and cowards, but at our best, we black freedom fighters.
Yeah.
And we all seasoned freedom fighters. We not summer soldiers or spring warriors. All seasoned, brother. That's what makes the difference. What we love about Connie is what? She's all seasoned.
Which of your projects, Doc, remind me, is this one on? You did 3
This
of
is
these.
a Never Forget.
Never Forget.
This is one with Prince and Andre 3000 and Jill Scott and the others. Yeah, absolutely.
If you can find, Dr. West has a number of spoken word albums, so if you can find Never Forget, that track you just heard, America 400 Years.
America 400 Years.
America 400 Years, that track is on his Never Forget.
We appreciate Miles for throwing down, helping us throw down on it.
Yeah, Miles pulled it up right quick. And that fits into the frame, Connie, America 400 Years of our conversation in hour one. We were talking about the fact that in 2026, there's going to be a lot of conversation on this program and beyond. Donald Trump raised it last night in that speech he gave about 250 years since the American Revolution. So there'll be a lot of conversation about America 250 years later as we get into 2026. But I closed the first hour by asking Danielle Moody and Rashad Robinson whether or not next year would represent a headwind or a tailwind. Connie, your thoughts about that?
When you asked about wind shifts, I said, wind shifts in a tornado don't get picked up.
Yeah.
Current drifts in a tsunami don't get picked up. Okay.
Connie's too deep. She's just too deep for me. Too deep for me.
Gotta know. Gotta know what frame you're in.
Yeah. We were talking, in case you just tuned in, again at the end of the last hour, whether or not the political winds are going to shift next year. And Connie's brilliant point is that wind shifts in a tornado don't get picked up.
It's bigger than shifts.
Yeah. As she says all the time, you got to know what frame you're in. And so there you have it. Tim Golden, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Tavis, thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you and to be in the company of such august guests that you have. So thank you. I'm honored to be here.
You are delighted. We're delighted to have you, and you're welcome in this conversation. So if you feel that energy on the phone, imagine how I feel in studio with these two brilliant thought leaders, influencers, Connie Rice and Dr. Cornel West.
We salute you.
So Tim Golden is brilliant in his own right. He is a philosopher. He's a lawyer. He's a professor. His resume, his pedigree fits quite nicely in this dialogue. When we come forward, we'll also be joined by Elizabeth Booker Houston. Going to be a great second hour of our Year in Review Roundtable. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening.
Charitable listening.
It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates Malik Books on celebrating 35 years in business.
It's a
Book Revolution, uplifting stories that heal, inspire, and transform. One reader at a time. Change your thoughts, change your life. Books are the gift that keeps giving. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, congratulations to Malik Books on 35 years of culture, pride, and community.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
You are indeed, and I'm glad about it. It's our Year in Review Roundtable of 3 fire hours. The first hour was Danielle Moody and Rashad Robinson, Connie Rice, and Cornel West. Connie Rice and Dr. West are still with me live in studio, and for that I am grateful. And now we bring in 2 other brilliant voices that you've heard on this program this year. And this is, again, my way of, this is my gift to you on my way out the studio, my last live show of the year. The best of Tavis Smiley for the next 2 weeks on these stations across America. I'm back live, Lord willing, Monday, January the 5th. But this is my holiday gift to you. All these brilliant voices in one show. And speaking of brilliant voices, I am pleased to be joined by Elizabeth Booker Houston and Tim Golden alongside Dr. Cornel West and Connie Rice. Elizabeth, how are you today? Good to have you back on.
Hi, it's great to be here. I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I can't complain. You know me. If I did complain, I'd be an ingrate. So no complaints from me. So, Connie, I'm going to let you set the frame. We talked in our last hour, and we always talk with Connie about making sure we're in the right frame. I'm going to let you set the frame for this hour, and then we'll pull in Doc and Liz and Tim and let them do their thing. But here's what I'm thinking based on the conversation in hour 1. Once again, if you missed hour 1, you missed the fire hour. Check out the podcast when it's posted later tonight. We were talking, though, in a bit in the first hour and more even in the break with 3 of us in studio about MLK. You can't talk about the future of this democracy without, talking about King. I think that the future of this democracy is inextricably linked to whether or not we take seriously what King had to say about that triple threat: racism, poverty, and militarism. That's my overarching view. But King talked about a couple of things. I want to give you a chance to link up for us, and then we'll jump from there. King talked about a radical restructuring being necessary to save this democracy. I mentioned in the first hour that the sermon he was going to preach, had he made it back to Ebenezer on Sunday morning, he didn't, was entitled "Why America May Go to Hell." That's how King was thinking on his way out of here. Why America? He didn't consign us to hell, but said why America may go to hell. He was talking about then a radical restructuring, but he was also talking about a revolution of values, that we needed a revolution of values. Now, in this moment, I think both are necessary, the radical restructuring and the revolution of values. But you can't get to the radical restructuring, in my mind at least, unless there is first a revolution of values, and I don't see that happening right now, particularly with Trump in the White House, and especially after that speech last night warning us that he had more to come. We barely got out of this year. We ain't out yet. We got 3 more years of this nonsense, so set the frame for me and we'll jump from there.
Yeah, we're having a devolution of values.
You go.
We're going back to the values that justified slavery itself. So what King was talking about, Tavis, you remember, he was talking about a society that produces beggars.
Mm-hmm.
He said, don't be throwing coins at the beggars. You need to ask yourself what kind of economy produces beggars. And if you don't radically restructure that economy, that's where the values and the restructuring dovetail.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Yep. You say you have to value that human being and their dignity and their right to thrive. And you need to build an economy that from the bottom up makes sure you don't have beggars. So, but that radical economic restructuring, we did a U-turn. Instead of creating an economy that won't produce beggars, we created an economy that guarantees that all of us are going to be beggars. We did a U-turn and went to radically restructure the country so that it produces nothing but concentrated wealth for the top 1%, and for the other 99%, we're in a reverse Robin Hood spiral downward. We've actually engineered downward mobility.
Yeah.
So we talk about affordability. To me, it's about more than affordability. It's about livability and upward mobility. We've lost the upward mobility. We took all the rungs out of the upward mobility ladder and did what Derek Bell said: let everybody sink to the bottom of the well.
Bottom of the well, yeah.
And if we don't understand, middle class is important, Tavis and Doc, but if you don't understand that, if you don't peg your wealth generating infrastructure to lifting up folks at the bottom of the well, folks in the underclass, we're not going to make it. So it's both the values. Yeah. We've gone to the values of greed. We're a greedocracy right now, and we've got a moronocracy with a cryptocracy. Cryptocracy. We got a bunch of robber barons in there, and we got a mob boss as president. Yeah. So we've gone so far from what King was talking about. But the question is, can we get back there, or do we take his vision and reverse engineer what we've created?
Tim Golden, take that baton and run with it.
Well, I really like the invocation of Derek Bell in your remarks, because the work of transforming values and restructuring America to reflect those values is a work of infinity. Derek Bell's thesis of racial realism tells us that anti-Black racism in America is permanent, but on the other hand, he tells us that we all have a moral obligation to resist it. And this idea of resisting something that is inevitable or permanent brings to mind these existential notions of the myth of Sisyphus, right? Where the boulder gets pushed up to the top of the hill and then rolls back down. We live in an America on the verge of a complete reversal of the blood, sweat, and tears that it took for the Freedom Riders and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So it's important to understand that as we roll our sleeves up to get to work against the gangsterism, as Dr. West puts it, and against the oligarchy that is now taking place, where you have billionaires contributing to the renovations of the White House. Is anyone naive enough to believe that such contributions would be made without America being for sale to people who have large amounts of money, to the exclusion of the underclass, to the poor, to the oppressed, etc.? So I think we have to go into this. We have to go into 2026 thinking in radical terms, not so much of values and restructuring, but what is the radicality of our resolve? What is the radicality of our deep sense of moral and political obligation that says, I'm about to engage in a work that will never be finished? The great Ida B. Wells, when she was writing her memoir, she didn't get a chance to finish it. And that's a sort of an eerie way of reminding us that the work of civil rights that our community, that the Black community has consistently been engaged in is a work of infinity. And I think if we understand that, then we can fortify ourselves to deal with the setbacks that inevitably will come because we know the work has to continue forward.
I love that frame and that phrase, the radicality of our resolve from one philosopher to another. I pass the baton now to Dr. West.
Well, I just think that both my brother and my sister, again, speaking some deep truths here, though, brother. I mean, I think that in so many ways, you know, we just with Sister Jackie Jackson, beloved wife Anahita, and I was talking to her. She said Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy was America's last hope. And I think part of her wisdom is mediated in what we're talking about here, namely that when it really comes down to it, you have to generate those who are willing to muster the courage to call for the radical restructuring and to connect it with levels of morality and spirituality so that we can sustain ourselves given the grimness and the dimness of the moment. Now, a lot of that has to do with what Brother Tim is talking about. We appreciate his wonderful work on Derek Bell, who was my dear brother, because, you know, he's one of the finest legal minds of his generation, but he also sang in the gospel choir.
He sure did.
And that wonderful book he wrote on the gospel choir, something to keep in mind. I spent a whole lot of time with that brother from Pittsburgh. You know that now. And what he was able to bring together was precisely what Martin brought together, which was as long as there's a cloud of witnesses who remember the Harriet Tubmans and the Ida B. Wellses, Barnetts, let alone their grandmamas and their daddies and cousins, then they willing to muster the courage to call for the radical restructuring. It looked like it's got a chance of a snowball in hell, but there's always something that's impossible that turns out to be possible if it's intervened with solidarity, collective organizing, and vision, and being willing to walk into the darkness and recognize there's a light, to step out on nothing and land on something. That's the history of Black folk, finding a way out of no way. So that the history is always unpredictable, unfinished, incomplete, absolutely right. But without this reconstructing of predatory capitalism or this how you put it? Necro-capitalism, just allowing folk to die and acting as if that's just part of the calculation rather than the preciousness of their lives being lost. That's something that King and his legacy keep alive. When Rabbi Heschel used to say the very future of America depends on how America responds to the legacy of Martin.
That's right.
Heschel understood that. Now, we're not deifying Martin. Martin got his own shortcomings and so forth, but he represents one of the greatest waves in an ocean of a great Black people who looking for truth and beauty and goodness and even the holy in the midst of this hell and nightmare we've been wrestling with for 400 years.
So, Liz, I'm gonna let you get in where you fit in. But what say you? I pass the baton to you now about the radicality of our resolve, radical restructuring in our society, a revolution of values that we need. No question, get in where you fit in, and I'll jump from there.
Well, I will say that when it comes to the radicality of our resolve, I'm concerned about the very flippant nature of discourse right now. And I say this as someone who is a full-time political content creator, right? So on social media. And the thing that I try so hard on my platform to drill into people is consistency and resilience and to keep going. And I just have so many concerns with the way people will jump from things as if it's from one trend to another. I'm concerned with the way social justice has become a trend and really not a resolve, as we talked about. And I'm trying my best, and I know other folks online, to bring everything full circle and just remind people of what the long-term goal is, right? I saw people complaining online the other day. I know Nina Turner and Jamal Bryant, who I greatly respect, have been really working hard with this Target boycott, right? When we talk about attacking these capitalistic systems that are just taking advantage of us. And there's already folks saying, are we still boycotting? And folks responding with, do you know how long the bus boycott was, in Montgomery, Alabama? We're just asking you not to go to Target if there's another option for you to go to, right? And trying really hard for folks to understand that it's going to take all of these little steps over a long period of time. It's not going to happen instantly. And I recently did a TEDx talk where I talked about the danger of malinformation. We know about misinformation and disinformation, but malinformation is when you have correct information presented with an incorrect context. And the bus boycott is a prime example of that. The way that history is being taught, and this is very much it's intentional from this white supremacist system, right? They act like everything has to happen from a magical moment and one magical person and boom, and if it doesn't, it won't happen. So what do? We talk about Rosa Parks sat down because her feet were tired and amazingly a revolution happened, but that's not the case. We know that there was about 12 years of groundwork laid for that.
That's right.
Rosa Parks investigating sexual assaults on behalf of the NAACP as secretary. We know that Thurgood Marshall, who was not yet Supreme Court Justice, was working in the courts, working on lawsuits. We know that there was lobbying to Congress, to the president, to get the Civil Rights Act. I mean, there was so much that was happening in all of those years. And people are getting so down on this idea of changing things because they think, well, we did this one protest and everybody came out and we called our Congress members about this budget bill and well, it didn't work out. So I guess we've done everything we can, because history has been taught in such a way to really do a disservice to us and think, oh, well, if it doesn't happen and we don't have this magical, I'm just going to say it, the magical Negro come along and save everybody, it won't happen. And so trying to really reframe everything for folks and give them that education and that understanding of how we actually build resilience.
Yep. Tim, I heard you grunt, not grunt, but I heard you moan. I'm going to put it in a black church context. I won't say grunt. I heard you moan when Liz dropped that phrase, social justice trend. I've got 2 minutes now. We'll continue when we come forward. But what was that moan about when she used that phrase, social justice trend?
That moan was a deep affirmation of the problematic view that social justice can be reduced to something transitory or ephemeral. As we approach the 250th anniversary of the United States, we see that we really have not moved that far from the political and social conditions that existed at the time of the American founding. We have a certain way of talking about things in the United States in terms of race relations that's beset by a kind of mendacity. We ask ourselves naively, how did we get here? When the more tragic and profound moral question is, why is it that we never left where we were in the first place? And in order to really appreciate social justice, you have to understand that it's not a trend, it's not a fad. It is literally a matter of life and death and survival, and it must be a way of life if the gangsterism and oligarchy and white supremacy of 2025 is to be defeated. And I think, in the words of Derek Bell, we have to redefine what it means to defeat something, because there is deep meaning in the struggle itself.
That's right.
Right? And until we really internalize that and move forward, as the sister said, we cannot buy into this idea that social justice is something cool or ephemeral or transitory. It's a way of life. Indeed, it's a matter of life and death.
So I'm in studio and I can see, I'm looking right at him. Dr. Cornel West is to my right. Absolutely. Connie is to my left. And when Tim posed that question, why we never left where we were, Connie picked up her pen and started scribbling. So when we come forward, I'm going to ask Connie to unpack what she was scribbling. You see how these dots connect? Liz says something that gets Tim excited. Tim says something that gets Connie excited. That's right. Dr. West says something that gets me excited. I'm blessed to be amongst all these brilliant Negroes in one conversation. We'll continue when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The House has passed a GOP healthcare bill in a 216 to 211 vote. Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez warns losing subsidies will hurt millions.
All of us are about to have our health costs skyrocket.
Kentucky's Thomas Massey was the lone Republican to vote no. The bill heads to the Senate, where it's unlikely to pass. A leaked video shows LA Mayor Karen Bass criticizing the response to the Palisades and Eaton fire, saying both sides botched it. Bass also blasted the lack of evacuation alerts in West Altadena, where nearly all 19 deaths occurred, saying they didn't tell people they were on fire. And Brandy will be honored with the Black Music Icon Award during Grammy Week on January 29th in Los Angeles. The Recording Academy says the award celebrates our artistry and cultural impact. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The biggest game in the NFL regular season jumps off tonight in Seattle. The Rams and Seahawks, both 11-3 in the NFC West, meet up in a battle that will have a major impact on the number one seed in the NFC playoffs. A win tonight gives the Rams the inside track with 2 games remaining. 5:15 kickoff on Fox 11 and Amazon Prime for all you streamers. Former NFL linebacker Hardy Nickerson, who grew up in Compton, made some history Wednesday in California high school football. He's the first black head coach to be hired by a school in the prestigious Trinity League Conference. Nickerson, a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, was hired by J. Sarah High School. Nickerson led Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland to the Division V AA state championship this season. The Trinity League has produced 5 state champions since 2019 and has 7 players on NFL rosters this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitute.
Want to confront the deeper moral question of how is it that we never left where we were in the first place.
Got it. All right, Connie. And when Tim said that 6 minutes ago, you picked up your pen and started writing furiously. What were you writing? What were you scribbling, Connie?
Why we have never left where we were in the first place. And I absolutely agree on the level of we always go, whatever advances are made, we double the steps backwards. That's one thing. We're kind of in quicksand. And every step you take, you end up getting a little bit deeper. But on another level, I don't think we are quite where we were. They want to go back. I don't think we're going to go back to the era where slavery, chattel slavery of Africans and African Americans is possible. I don't think we're going to go back.
From your mouth to God's ears, but go ahead.
I mean, they're trying. They're doing their best.
Exactly.
They're doing their best to take us all the way back. So we're not quite where we started in 1619, but we should be a whole lot further ahead. And I think it's because of the fundamental default, the source code of this country is built around making sure that our place is never at the table. And that's where that's what Elizabeth was talking about with the endemic kind of permanence of anti-blackness. And so when you ask that question, why aren't we further ahead, or why have we never gotten away from the original sin? Why aren't we further away from it? It's because of that undertow. It's a constant undertow, and it's a very powerful undertow. But we've always flipped the undertow to swim back in the right direction. And the question is, you know, when Elizabeth was talking about the flippant level, the inconsistency, and that social justice is not transitory. It is a way of being. It is, and what Tim said, life and death. It is a matter of life and death. It is a way of being. It is what we have to do in order to move the diaspora forward. What we came with in the beginning of the Civil Rights Revolution, the second founding, or maybe the third founding of this country, we founded the first part of this country's democracy with the Voting Rights Act. That's been demolished. The civil rights era is dead. It's over. Our question is, if that baton has been broken, what new baton are we going to do in this relay race to justice? And when we were attacking apartheid, we came back from World War II, we said, we're not doing this. We're not coming back to Jim Crow and Jim Crow. We've got to end this. We had a concerted, focused, concrete mission to end Jim Crow. And when we had that concrete goal, like Mandela had the concrete goal of ending apartheid, the whole black nation was behind it. Had different theories about how to do it, but that was our goal. We don't have a concrete goal right now. Is it saving democracy? Is it building the underclass from the ground up? Is it restructuring the economy? We've got to come up with a vision that is clear and a concrete plan attached to that vision so we can execute the second strategy that will take us beyond where the Civil Rights Revolution did.
This is not my way typically, but Liz, I want to come to you. Let me just set this up for you, and then I'll let you run with it. So when I'm on the program live every day during the breaks, I'm checking our socials. I'm looking at comments that are coming in on our YouTube channel. I'm minding the field, or minding and mining the field around me for what I might kick off the next segment with when I come out of these various commercial breaks. And so I'm looking at all the commentary that's happening on our socials right about now. And one particular comment jumped out at me, and I'm not so sure I agree with it, but let me just read this particular comment to you, Liz, from one of our listeners. And I'm going to give you what my response was. And literally in the break, while Connie and Doc were talking here in the studio, I was interacting with one of our listeners. And I want to just share with all of you this interaction and let Liz take it from there. So one of our listeners says to me, Tavis, you might need to read some positive quote or scripture at the end of today's 3-hour show, because despite this conversation being absolutely on point, meaningful, and engaging, this roundtable I find a bit depressing. How you end the year is how you enter the new year. We need hope and we need love. I responded to the listener, I appreciate your perspective, but we wholly disagree. Sobering for me is not depressing. Sobering is not depressing. Get your frame right, respectfully. And your perspective is not what others are saying right now in our comments and in the chat thread. The listener responds, Tavis, sobering, yes, but it is a sad state of affairs. So how can it not be depressing when we are sliding backwards? That was not a criticism. It's just a reality. And I'm sure I'm not alone in my perspective or in my feeling. Now,
I'm actually looking for toxic positivity and not actually looking for hope, because I would push back and say, what we're discussing here is definitely not depressing because we're giving you the sauce.
That's right.
We're not just saying here's something that's terrible that's going on. We're saying, but look at these other movements. Look at these other things that are going on. Look at these things that have been successful every time we push back and we hold strong and we are resilient. I feel like that's something that's very positive and gives realistic hope rather than, as I said, just toxic positivity, trying to give empty platitudes, right? To me, that gives me strength and courage. And that's why I know with the work that I do, I constantly check myself to make sure that I don't become a doom and gloom creator. It is very easy to go viral all the time or get likes or views or what have you by constantly just focusing on the negative and only the negative. But as you said, I think when you are bringing sobering reality into it and also actionable steps and real examples of how we can make change, that is the balance that we need. And that's when I find that to be something positive and not just depressing.
And Doc, how would you respond to that listener, Doc?
I would say that he or she who has never despaired has never lived. All of us wrestle with despair, but we don't allow despair to have the last word. When Sister Elizabeth made the point about social justice just being another market strategy, another form of one's brand as opposed to one's cause, we recognize that if it's only about a kind of superficial optimism, then despair will shatter you. But there is no hope without despair, just like Frankie Beverly reminds us, ain't no joy without pain. That's right. That's right. Now, any justice, as only justice, soon degenerates into something less than justice. Black freedom movement ain't been about justice fundamentally. It's been about loving black people. Love is deeper than justice. It sustains justice. That's what makes you a long-distance runner rather than a sprinter. And so the question becomes, how do you sustain a large enough people, a cloud of witnesses, every generation who loves black people enough, and keep it in mind, in a white supremacist society, black love is a crime. Just like they're trying to convince us blacks hope to joke and black freedom is a curse. But for us, we don't mind being criminalized. We don't mind being cursed in a white supremacist way. That's a compliment because we still believe in the capacity of black people to make a difference, to change the world. Not by ourselves, in alliance with some other decent folk. And of course, when King talked about the house on fire, he was right, but he also had a world house. So we're talking about solidarity, wrestling with genocide in Gaza, solidarity, wrestling with genocide in Sudan, solidarity and critiques of AFRICOM, solidarity with folks in Venezuela at this moment getting ready to be invaded by gangster White House gunboat. Used to be a gunboat imperial policy, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we're not critical of these regimes, but we recognize something is right and something is wrong, and we love the people who we're willing to throw down for. So what my dear brother Tim says, life and death, it's life and death because we love the people. Like we love our mamas and our daddies. Any question of justice? We love our children. That ain't justice. We love. When you love, you throw everything down.
Another listener says this in response to the conversation we're having right now. We'll let Tim Golden, as referenced by Dr. West, respond when we come forward. Tavis, the listener's perspective is valid. It could be depressing for him or her, and maybe even some others. Feelings are valid, but at the same time,
Dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
One year ago, flames tore through Altadena and Eaton Canyon, changing lives forever. From the ashes, can a beloved community rise stronger? Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, host of First Things First, weekday mornings, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., here on KBLA Talk 1580. And I'm inviting you to join us on Wednesday, January 7th, as we broadcast live from Perry's Joint on the one-year anniversary of this horrific and devastating fire. We're remembering those we lost, celebrating the heroes and sheroes who answered the call, and honoring the resilience of neighbors who are determined to rebuild together.
I've been a strong black woman a long time, and I can't just break down now.
Hear the stories of survival, the voices of recovery, the spirit of community that the fire couldn't destroy, and yes, the angst of those who still do not know where they go from here.
Yeah, where am I gonna go?
At KBLA Talk 1580, we don't just cover the story, we're part of this community, and we've done our level best to hold those responsible for this fire accountable. And 1 year later, we're still standing together.
It is my hopes that black people will rebuild those homes.
So join us live at Perry's Joint, 2051 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, as we commemorate the 1 year anniversary of the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire. Because some stories demand to be remembered.
This too shall pass.
I got the champagne. Everybody's glass.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates our own Keith Underwood, host of the weekend entertainment show Black in the Green Room, on his recent honor at the annual National Arts and Entertainment Journalism Awards. Keith received a first place award presented by the Los Angeles Press Club for his entertainment reporting, and we couldn't be prouder. Congratulations, Keith, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
It does indeed with our Year-End Review Roundtable. It's been fire for the first couple hours. Tim Golden, my time is getting really tight here, but I read that comment again, not to put that listener on the spot. I'm not calling names, of course, but I read it because what jumped out at me about that comment was that people are searching for something. She's asking and saying we need some love and we need some hope. How did you hear that comment right quick?
Well, I think I heard that comment as a desire to move beyond what people perceive as just rank pessimism. Mm-hmm. But as Dr. West pointed out, if you haven't despaired, you haven't lived. It's important in this vein, Tavis, to understand that when Derek Bell spoke of the permanence of anti-black racism in America and spoke of our need to continue to resist it, he analogized his position to the view of an alcoholic who, no matter how long the alcoholic has been sober, no matter how long the person has been in recovery, the alcoholic must always say that they're an alcoholic, right? In other words, it isn't the case that just because you acknowledge the reality of America's dire situation, that you are somehow giving up. In fact, the more you embrace your problem, the more inclined you are to remain vigilant against it. And I think that's the point that we have to take away. If I could, Tavis, could I just respond very quickly to Connie's point?
Very quickly.
I want to say I totally agree with what Connie is saying and where she's coming from. If I could just clarify that question, I don't mean that America has not moved on from chattel slavery. What I mean is, I don't speak in terms of positive law, but in terms of our mentality toward black people. The disposition of white supremacy as it relates to black people really has not changed. Earlier this year, Preston Damsky, a white law student at the University of Florida, taking a course taught by a Trump judge on originalism, wrote his capstone project defending the logic of Dred Scott. And my point is that if we can still appeal to Dred Scott today, then that tells us something independent of how laws may change. We still have an ethos that's utterly disposed toward
the last word to Liz, Elizabeth Booker Houston. I want to hear from her, and Connie. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
I've got 4 minutes left in this hour. I want to split it between the two sisters. Elizabeth, you first, no question, but how do you want to, what's your final thought given all we've discussed in this hour, what you've heard?
Since folks have talked about depressing and how they feel, and I do think feelings are valid, I just want to reiterate what I've been saying. I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope that is not just based in vibes, but based in the reality of what I'm seeing as far as change, as far as progress, even though things are very tough right now. And this is the reason why I do the work I do, and quite frankly, I have not left this country. I always tell my followers, if you see me pack up and leave, the Republicans and Democrats confronting them about the ACA subsidies, talking about that, and that kind of pressure works. And like just one good example, we got 4 Republicans to sign a discharge petition with the Democrats, with Hakeem Jeffries, and try to force that ACA subsidy vote on the floor. So again, I know it seems like a very minor thing, but there's lots of little things like that happening, and so we just need to keep working and taking those little steps.
It's not minor at all, and I mentioned at the top of the show today, we expect a phone call. Try to squeeze Hakeem Jeffries in for a quick conversation in our third hour, the last hour of this Year in Review Roundtable. Connie, the last 2 minutes belong to you.
I'm not going anywhere. So if anybody needs, it's going to be them. Okay. We built this country and didn't get paid. Okay? So I'm not going anywhere. To the listeners, and I get this a lot, and I have to say it's a personal flaw that I project my internal optimism and just assume everybody has it. This is a profoundly depressing moment for a lot of folks, and but I would say if you're not depressed, you're not paying attention. So it's actually good that you understand the moment we're in. But the other side of that coin is that revolutionary hope is grounded in the stone truth. You've got to understand where we are. We've been in worse places. This is not darker than the Middle Passage. This is not darker than post-Reconstruction, with the rise of the Klan and the state terrorism of anti-black racism and murder. We have been in much worse places. And all I have to think is that folks that had a thousandth of what I've got, they overcame. They rose above. They soared. And we ride on their wings. So our ancestors are watching. There is no excuse for us failing in this moment with everything we've got. We especially those of us who are sitting on this radio show, all of us are in the top 1% of the black diaspora. So our obligation is to make sure we really, really prisons, underclass, we bring them with us. And we've got a plan. It's going to be concrete. It's going to be over our dead bodies. And we're not going to let it happen. We are going to surmount all of this.
As is often the case when I'm in conversation with her, Connie gets the last word, but she knows how to work with it. And so I thank Connie Rice. I thank Tim Golden. I thank Elizabeth Booker Houston. These are the voices you've heard throughout this year. And again, it's always my honor on the last live show of the year to bring all of my contributors together, all these great commentators, all these brilliant analysts together in one conversation. So, Elizabeth, thank you for your voice on this program this year. I deeply appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I've just loved everybody.
We salute you.
And Tim Golden, you've been a blessing to me and to this audience this year. Thank you for your voice, brother.
Oh, Tavis, thank you. I'm humbled and honored to be among such wonderful guests, and I wish everyone Godspeed this holiday season. Thank you so much for having me.
And Connie Rice, you know I love you with a feeling. I love you and ain't nothing you can do about it. I love you like a fat kid loves cake, Connie Rice. Take that and go and enjoy the rest of your day. I've got one more hour in front of me. Dr. West will remain for the final hour, and we'll be joined by Dr. Nicola Corte, Pennsylvania Rep. Chris Rabb, and former U.S. Representative Cori Bush. Going to be a great third hour. You're listening. I'm glad about it, Tavis Smiley.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The House has passed a GOP health care bill in a 216 to 211 vote. Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez warns losing subsidies will hurt millions.
All of us are about to have our health costs skyrocket.
Kentucky